Good everyone, my name is Graphics. In this video, we want to solve a problem involving development. We'll be looking at a cone. And the question goes like this. It says, a right circular cone, 70mm base and 70mm height, rests on its base on the ground plane. A section plane perpendicular to VP and inclined at 30 degrees to HP cuts the cone, bisecting its axis. Draw the development of the lateral surface of the cone. Now, first of all, we're talking about a cone, and we're told that the base of the cone is resting on the what? The ground plane. So let's take this line here to be the ground plane, and know one thing is that the ground plane is the what? Is the HP. So this is my what? My ground plane here, right? And I'll draw a vertical line on that point this way, right? I'll place it this way, and I'll draw a vertical line on that point this way. You can see that this is where they are meeting at this point. So from there, we're told that the base of the cone is 70mm, right? So I am going to measure half of 70mm, which will give me what? 35mm. Is that okay? So if I take my meter rule and I measure half of it, which is 35, so from 0 to 35 is half of 70, right? And I'll place it here at the center of it, at this point here, and I'll mark to the left and also what? To the right, right? So from this point to this point represent the base, which is what? 70. Now the next thing we are told is that the height is 70mm too, right? So I can easily just take my meter rule and measure 70mm as the height here. From 0 to of this point here to this point here is what? Is 70, right? And I will just join it together this way at this point, right? I'll take this up first of all to make it intersect at this point. Now let's connect here. So this is what we have, and this is what we have, right? And I'll close it up. You can see that? So this is the base, and we're told the section plane cuts it at the axis, right? It cuts it at what? At its axis. From here to here is its axis, while these two ends are what? The generator, right? What I'll do is, since we're not given where the cutting plane cuts the axis, I'll take half of the height, which is what? 35. So when I do that, I'll measure 35 from 0 to 35 here. You can see that. Maybe properly. So this is 35 here. And I'll take my meter rule, my t-square. When my t-square is placed like this, my set-square is placed like this, this is 30. So when I place it this way, and I'm going to cut it through. This is my cutting plane here. You see that? So when we cut it, we are going to place it looking at this direction here. That is V, and here is T. That's okay. We're looking at this direction here. Now the next thing is, this is what the question is telling us. This angle you are seeing is an angle of what? 60 degrees. Is that okay now? Now the next thing is, I'm going to draw the plan, because the question says it cuts the cone bisecting its axis. This is where it cuts the cone. we should draw development looking at it. So what you just do is you take your compass, you take half of the cone, you can see that will be the radius of 70, which is 35, and I'm going to draw this way, which I'm going to what? That will represent the plan of it. You can see that, and I'll divide it into 12 equal parts. I'll divide it into what? 12 equal parts. So what I'll do is I'll take my compass with the same radius I used to draw the circle. You can see that. When I place it this way, can you see? I'll mark up. I'll come here also. I'll mark here. I'll come here also. I'll mark left and what? And right. Can you see that? Then I will join those points together through the center. Each of those points, this will go through the point. This will go through the point. This will also go to the point. This will go to the point. Right? Let me just complete this. Now you can see that. Now the next thing is I'll start naming them. This will be point 1, point 2, point 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, back to 1. Right? Now we want to now draw. I will now project each of these points to touch the base of the circle. So projecting each of the points to touch the base of the circle, I'll place it this way. Right? So when I place it here, I'll be having this. So I have this. Then the next one, this. Then the next one. Then the next one. The next one. And the next one. So again. Now where it meets here, what you can see is that this is 1, that will be point 1, right? This is 2, so we know that 2, 12 is on the same line. The next one, 3, what? 11 is on the same line. The next one, 4, 10 is on the same line. We have 3, 9 on the same line. Then 6, 8 on the same line. Then we have what? 7. They're all on the same line, right? If you place your instrument, you discover that they are all on the same line. If I want to show you, they are all what? On the same line. You can see this. If I come here also, I'll do this too. So that's how I'll do all of them. Now let's move forward. Now I will now generate each of those points to aim towards the center, the apex point or the vertex of the cone. So from this point, because number 1 is going towards the center, number 2 also go towards the center this way. Number 3 will also go towards the center this way. Number 4 is already there. This will also go towards the center this way. This will also go towards the center this way. This is what we have here. So where it cuts, where it intersects with the cutting plane, right? I'll call it A. Here will be what? B. Here will be what? C. Here will be what? D. Here will be what? E. here will be what? F, then the last one will be what? G. Right? So we want to look at the development. When this plane cuts here, what will be the development of this? So I will take my meter rule and I will draw a vertical line this way. You can see that? And I'm going to take the we'll take the true length of the triangle, which is from here to this point, is the true length here, right? And I'll place it at this point, any of the points, and I'll mark probably this point here, and I'm going to mark. So that point I mark, this point here will be my point O. So automatically this point here also will be my point O. You can see that? While here will be my point 1. So with the radius of that, placing it from O to 1, I will draw an arc. You can see that from O to 1. And with the radius of each of the circle this way, either 12 and 11, any of them, you can see that. I will come to 1. 1 is going to give me 2. 2 will give me 3. Back to 1. You can see that? 12 back to what? 1. So what I will now do is I'm going to take my meter rule and I'll mark this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. That's a complete cycle, 1 to 1. So I'm going to start joining from 1 to 2, from 0 to 2, because 0 is joining 2 here, just like that. From 0 to 3, then 1. This is what we have here. Now there's an easy and efficient way at least you can go about this. What you do is this is a line of 1, right? If I place it at 0 here, I'll take it to 1. You can see that? Then I'll come to 0 here, I'll mark on line 1. So that point will be called my point A. I'll come again from 0 again, I'll take it to line 2, where the line cuts that point here is point B. That is on line 2. I'll go to line 2 from point O, I will cut, and that point will be what? I'll call it point B. Right? I'll come again from O, I'll come to 3 here. Is that again? I'll come to O, I'll go to line 3, I'll mark. So where it meets here is point C. Right? I'll come to O, I'll mark on D. This is B on 4, line 4. I'll go to that line, I'll mark on 4. I'll come to O, that point will be D. I'll come to O, I'll come to what? E. E is on line 3, right? And also line 6. Are we good? I'm going to go and mark on line 6. At this point, I'll mark. That is, we're talking about E is on line 5. So I'll mark. This is 5, right? This is not 3. This is 5 here. So we're going to get what? Point E. I'll come again from here. I'll mark on F. I'll come to line 6 to get F, because F is on line 6. That will be my point F. Right? Then I'll come to G. Also, this is G. I will mark on G. G is on 7. I'm going to mark. That will be my point what? My point G. So I'm looking for 8 now. I'll go to where it is, line 8, right? So when you come to 8, line of 8, I'll place it here. Place the line of 8 here. Can you see that? And I'll come to 8 and I'll mark. Alright? So that 8 also, you know that 8 and 6 on the same line, right? So I can still call here to be is 4.8. That will be still F is going back. F. Then I'll come to the next one, which is 9. If you look at 9, this is the line of 9 here. I'll come here. I'll take it. 9 and 5 on the same point. That is E. So I'll come here. I'm going to mark 9. So this is E here again. Then I'll come again. I'm looking for 10. I'll mark from here the line of 10. This is 10 here. I'll give us G. I'll mark. So that will be my line of 10 here. So taking, which is D. Then for 11, line of 11, this is 3 and 11. This is 11 here. That is C. I'll place it here. I'll mark on C. I'll come here and O again. I'll mark on C. So this will be what? Point C. Then for 12, I'll go to 12. This is 12 here. I'll mark on 12. That is D. B here. Right? I'll place it here. And I'll mark. That will be what? B. Then from O to A, I'll come to O. I'll mark what? A. You can see that? That is my point O. So I'll now take my French curve. I'll join. Another easy way that you can do this is when you mark, you know, this is when we mark 2, you come, you mark on 2, and you go to 12 also you mark, because 2 and 12 are the same points. You come for C, you go on this point, you mark on 3 and 11, because 10 and 11 are the same points. You can do that with 2. Is that taken? So I'll just join all these points together. Sometimes you might do this and you get a different shape, depending on how you are, how your inclination of your cutting plane is. Now I can do it this way, so I can do it another way also, and I'll get another kind of lateral surface, right, development, and you still get the same answer, right? Might be different shape, but it's actually correct also. Now look at this, just briefly. I will take my C-square, right, and draw my line this way. And I want it to be on the same position, just to give you a kind of insight. Actually, this is the answer, but look at, you can also have this. This point here should be my point O. Let me call it O prime. Is that okay? And with the same measurement that I use here to here, as I place it here, I actually have this. That will be my point 1. So with that same radius, I'm going to get my curve. Sorry, let me make it well placed. You can see that. So this point here to be my point 1, and I'll use the same division I used, either 12 to 11 or 11 to 10, any of them. I'll place it this way, and I'll come here. Now take my rule and I'll join each of those points together. You can see that. So this is what we have here. Are we together? Now, in this case here now, if I decide to not allow my cutting plane to be this, right? We're assuming that my cutting plane is not this. Probably I'm cutting it in the other direction this way. Just for an observation, I'm cutting it to be in this direction this way. Right? And I'm still having looking it from this direction. On this direction. I'm just putting this, I don't have to put this to show you. So let me call it to be V prime and what? And T prime. Now what do you notice? This new point here will now be my point G. Here will be point F, right? Here will be A, here will be B, C, D still remain where it is, then we have what? E. What do you notice? Everything changes. So what I will simply do is, if I mark from O to point G here, and we'll have point G is in line 7 here, I'll come to line 7, I'll mark G here. You can see that, that's my point G. Similarly, if I come to O, from O to F, you can see that, I'm going to come to the line of, that is 6 and 8. So we'll place it here, I'll mark on the line of what? 8, and also on the line of what? 6. You can see that, so that will be my F prime, and this G prime. Similarly, from O also, if I come to E, and E is on the line of what? 5 and 9. I'll place it here. I'll mark on the line of 9 and also on the line of what? 5. And this will give me E prime, A prime, right? And also, if I come to D on this point, 0 to D, D is on the line of what? 4 and 10. I'll come to this point, I'll mark on the line of 10 and also on the line of what? 4. You can see that? So having my D prime here and also my D prime here. And I'll come also from O to the line of what? C, to point C at the line of what? 3 and 11. I'll come on this line O here. I'll place it on the line of 3 and also on the line of what? 11. I'm going to mark my C prime, then C prime here. I'll come to the line of B also this way. I'll come to the line of B also this way, right? I'll come to the line of B is in what? 2 and 12. I'll place it here. I'm going to mark point 2 and on what? On point 12. You can see that? So that will give me B prime. So this will be my B prime. And here will be what? My B prime also. Because it's symmetrical here. Then I'll come again for point 1 from O to 1 to A on line 1. So I'll come to this point and I'll mark on line 1 this point and also what? This point. That's what we have here. Alright? That'll be my A prime, my A prime. So I'll just do it, I'll just join this point. So in joining it, I'll just take this way. You can see that? So any of the two you draw, you're actually correct, depending on how you are actually labeling your what, your figure. You can choose this, you can choose this, but I'm always comfortable with this, right? So depend on what you're comfortable with, or you can just drop both of them. So if you have found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.